Hey guys, Sav here, and today I want to talk about Verdant Brink and the meta events in Verdant Brink. This is my 190th episode of my Let's Play. The last few episodes we've been doing the story mode during my Let's Play series in Verdant Brink, and we're about to depart for Arc Basin. But I think it's important to go over these meta events because you're going to spend a lot of time in these maps not doing the story. You know, even if you just play through the story, there's certain masteries and stuff that you're going to need to get through the story. So you're going to spend time in these maps getting your masteries leveled up so you can at least complete the story. Just a note on this video, and actually my next video as well, I recorded them both in the same day while I was watching football, and for whatever reason, I left my microphone open. So there was a lot of noise in these videos, so I had to mute them. So basically you're just going to see video playing and hear me talking for these next two videos, and I apologize for that. Anyway, Verdant Brink is the first map that you will enter when you come through the Silver Waste, and whether you do the story mode or you just go through the portal. It has 3 biomes. The middle biomes where you're going to spend most of your time, but there is a lower biome, which I guess is technically called the Roots. A couple small areas in there, nothing really large. A lot of area to glide around. There's probably some secret stuff down there if you have your gliding mastered, or fully mastered. You can glide around non-stop, and and maybe discover some stuff down there. But for the most part, there's only a couple places you can really land, so it's really not that big of a deal. And then there's an upper biome, which has a lot of area that you can land on, but you can only go. I mean, you can go there. There are parts of it you can go to during the day cycle, but for the most part, you can only go through most of the parts through the night cycle. And there's really only anything going on when you go up there during the night cycle. Speaking of day and night cycles, the day cycle is, this map has a day and night cycle. The day is about an hour and 20 minutes, I think, and the night cycle is 40 minutes of a 2-hour cycle. During the day cycle, there's a lot of events that go on. Basically trying to secure pack encampments, raise defenses, basically clear out Mordrum, stuff like that. During the night, the Mordrum attack. For the first about 20 minutes of the night cycle, you're basically defending your camps from Mordrum attacks, and basically securing the area for the helicopters to land. With 20 minutes left in the night cycle, the helicopters will land, and you'll be able to go to the upper biome of the map, where there's a bunch of boss battles, more or less. There's I think there's 2 Wyvern battles and a couple other battles. There's an Axemaster Gwillian. There's a Hylek battle. There's a couple other battles as well. There's the main one everybody sees on when everybody was going through the beta and stuff, was I want to say it was the Matriarch. Could be the Patriarch. There's a Matriarch and a Patriarch. In Wyvern battle, I should say Wyvern. There's so the main one takes place on the one platform above the packed encampment. So you'll fly up from the packed encampment and go to a Wyvern battle, which is actually you'll see at some point during this video if it's not playing already. There's a couple of different boss battles. If you complete these boss battles, and hey, if you've been in this map for however long, you'll get rewarded more and more and more. So if you've been in the map essentially since the day cycle, you're doing events during the day cycle, your map bonus level will rise. Your map bonus level goes anywhere from 0% to 200%. So basically, if you haven't done anything at all, you'll be at 0%. If you're just running around and just killing random enemies, but they aren't tied to any events or anything like that, you'll get 0%. If you are really working hard, you're in all the, you're not, well, it's impossible to be in all the events, but if you're always in events, doing hero points and stuff like that, you will easily get to 200%. Actually, I believe you can come in the last 40 minutes for the night cycle and just doing night events and get 200%. I believe it is possible. Just defending the pack bases or whatever, and then doing a boss battle or 2 in the upper biome. So if it's your first time in Verdant Brink, and you're running around, you may notice some new things that you won't see anywhere else in in the game in any of the other maps. And there's going to be bouncing mushrooms, New Hawk wallows, and updrafts. Basically, what these things are all part of the mastery system that you can use once you get to a certain point in your mastery system. The updrafts are used with gliding. So I think it's the second tier of your gliding mastery. You can use updrafts to replenish your gliding stamina, and also pushes you up higher. This is very useful for getting to higher up places, out of the way places. It's used for traversing the map. You can go from one end of the map to the other end of the map, and the updrafts will help you. When you get to the upper biome, or the canopy biome, now that I remember the name, that's basically the only way to get from platform to platform. So you need to have the updraft to do basically anything. So anything. I shouldn't say anything, but basically to get to, if you want to do the map completion and stuff like that for this map, you're going to need updrafts. To the mushrooms, yes, I already mentioned the bouncing mushrooms. There's two other kinds of mushrooms that you might see around too, but we'll start with the bouncing mushrooms. This is the first tier of, I believe, the Itzel, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. Mastery line. You get the bouncing mushrooms. It basically helps you bounce up to higher locations. For the most part, they're basically used for shortcuts, but there are areas of other maps that they're used to get to certain areas that you can't get to otherwise. But for this map, they're mainly just shortcuts. You will also see adrenal mushrooms and speed boost mushrooms. They're also in the same tier, but they come later. Actually, adrenal mushrooms, I believe, are the final tier in the I believe it's Itzel training. The speed boost mushrooms basically do what they say they do. They give you a speed boost, so you run through them, and for 10 seconds or so, you have a speed boost. It also helps. It also speeds up your skills, not just your overall running speed, but your weapon abilities and your overall utilities and so forth. You're fighting. So if you fight an enemy, you'll attack a little bit faster. Adrenal mushrooms, I'm not even 100% sure what they do, so I'm not going to comment on that right now. But if I ever get that mastered and I find out what they do, I will let you guys know. I believe it's something along the lines of recharging your cooldowns and stuff like that. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think it does either speed up or reset your cooldowns on your weapon and utilities, weapon skills and utilities. But I'm not 100% sure about that. And finally, New Hawk wallows. That is in the New Hawk training line. The New Hawk wallows basically just take you from one New Hawk wallow to another New Hawk wallow somewhere else on the map. They're not all tied together. It's just one's tied to another and vice versa. So if you take the one from one end, and it'll take you to the one on the other end. If you go back in that one, it'll take you back to the one you started at. But there will be several New Hawk wallows throughout a lot of the maps. I don't actually know how many are on this map in particular, but I know Ark Basin has quite a few. And that's basically all they do. So just so you guys are aware, when you see these things around, if you haven't actually mastered them yet, you know what they do, so that you could kind of focus on what you need to do for your particular mastery training. This map, like all the new maps, even the Living Story maps, has its own currency. I believe it's airship parts for this map in particular. You can trade it with specific vendors throughout the map, and it will give you map specific rewards, stuff like recipes for new stats for, like, inscriptions, insignias, and stuff like that you can craft. You can also get new sigils and runes from these vendors that aren't available anywhere else. You can only get them from these vendors. That goes for all the different maps. Ark Basin has its own currency, and we'll go through those when we get to those maps. But for this map, it's airship parts. So the more airship parts you get, the more the more stuff you can get from the different vendors throughout the map. There's also a lot of elite specializations for for instance, for my thief was Daredevil. They have specific weapons that you can get for that specialization, and there's certain stuff that you need from those vendors for the collections, so you can get this elite specialization ascended weapon. There's other stuff like that as well. If you want to craft legendary weapons, they have legendary gifts that you need to buy from them to create the new legendary weapons. Not the old legendary weapons. You can still use the old methods to get the old legendary weapons, but the new legendary weapons require basically map completion and you to buy these gifts, these legendary gifts that these vendors sell. And you put them all together and you make yourself a pretty new legendary weapon. Alright guys, well that brings us to the end of the video today. I hope you guys learned something new. If you guys didn't know anything about Verdant Brink, I think I've covered mostly everything there is to know. I mean, basic information. There's a lot of things to know about all the maps in the expansion, but I wanted to go over some general things so you guys know what's going on if you are venturing in for the first time. Jungle's a crazy place, so be careful out there. One thing I did fail to mention while I was going through is it's a lot more difficult. The enemies are very, very difficult on this map, so it's it's good to have a general idea of what you're doing, so you're not just running in there blindly. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time.